Great. So welcome everybody. Please grab your mics. So we are here for a panel. I'll be your host and I'll be moderating the discussion. And we are gonna talk about working in Slovakia and working abroad and what are those differences and challenges of that. So I would like to welcome our participants, which is Gabriel, Pavel, and Anton. And the first thing that I would like you guys to say a few words about yourselves and how you came about. Just a brief introduction, please.
Can I start?
Yes, please.
Okay, my name is Gabriel Netpal, and I'm living in Revúca, in Slovakia, and I'm a concept artist working for currently no one. I'm without the work, but on my purpose. I wanted to learn and travel. So now I have a sabbatical, and I'm doing environments, and that's it.
Hey guys, thank you for coming here. The guys up top, can you turn off the lights here because they're in our faces and we don't see the people in the audience? If they may have any questions, feel free to actually raise your hand and ask them anytime. And
I thought I'm the moderator.
Yeah, and I'm overtaking the moderator position. Hi, my name is Pavel. I live in Croatia. I was raised and born here in Slovakia, but I live in Croatia for the past 6 years. I work as a business developer for a company called Pixel Land Games, based in Poland, which is a studio part of Sumo Digital based in United Kingdom.
Hi, thanks everybody for coming. My name is Anton, and I feel a bit weird participating in this panel since before last year I actually had no association with Slovakia, and it turned out that last year I joined Nine Rocks Games. I came from abroad. I'm originally from Russia, and there I set up a small support studio for THQ Nordic. Then Russia went full fascist, so I decided to leave, and Slovakia welcomed me, for which I'm very grateful. And now I work here in Nine Rocks Games for more than a year.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. So, myself, just a brief introduction. I'm Filip. I'm from Charge Monkey Studios, the co-founder of it. And we are a mobile cross-platform game studio based in Prague and Bratislava and working with many people around Czechoslovakia, on-site remotely, on exciting mobile games, now mostly doing like co-development projects with partners from abroad, actually. So for me, it's a very interesting topic, actually, because throughout my career, and also I've been working abroad in Czech Republic, obviously, which is not that far away, but still like observing all these kind of cultural differences and different mentalities and working with different guys like from Finland, which is famous for their like introversial mentality. So what I would like to know actually at first from you guys is working like for international companies and then abroad, like what drove your decision to like start working, for an international company or start working abroad or coming, like from your motherlands to abroad to Slovakia? So who wants to start? Pavel, you wanna?
Yeah, sure. I can take this one. For me, it was more or less opportunities, and I started in games industry more than 20 years ago, and I was always an odd one because I was doing jobs that no one else did before. In many sense, I was pioneering some of the career paths, right? So I was one of the few first full-time paid journalists covering video games in Slovakia. And there was no one looking for this kind of a job. And I was always interested in PR and marketing, and there was not a lot of companies here that would kind of require these kind of positions. So I was looking outside. So more or less opportunities drove me outside, and I was talking to the local developers as well, helping them, but more of the opportunities came from abroad. So it was a decision driven mostly by opportunities.
Okay, so I already did mention the exact reason why I came to Slovakia, but actually I always considered working abroad. But the stuff that happened over the past 2 years was just the trigger that kind of forced me in a good, it is not appropriate to say in a good way, but I mean it did force me to actually start working abroad. Also because the Russian market is mostly mobile, social based, and there isn't a lot of experienced people who are, especially when it comes to PC and console development, you will hardly find anyone who actually did stuff in the 90s or in the 2000s, and I'm kind of glad that as working in Nine Rocks, you can work with some of the people who did start the local, even Czechoslovakian back there industry. It's pretty cool because you also sometimes those conservative approaches that they take, they make sense because they've been tested over a long time. So you have to listen, and when you want to take a more progressive approach, you can still see why people make those kind of decisions, and you want to listen to it because it comes from experience. And in this industry, we do lack this mentality of taking experience from more people who have been there before many times.
And why Slovakia?
Well, it was simply that I knew the producer of our game. My previous game I worked on, it is called This is the President. It came out in December 21, so the war started, the full-scale war started in 2 months after that, so I just left the country. A few weeks after that, I contacted, it was the other way. He nicely contacted and asked me if I need any help. I said, well, if you know any good studio that would be able to welcome me, I'd be grateful. So we actually run a short list, and Nine Rocks was kind of interesting at that point because there was only the studio name. Their website just said we are looking for some people, but nobody knew the kind of game they were working on. Everybody was assuming for some reason that it was a survival game. So I wasn't into making a survival game, but okay, let's give it a try. So when I found out it was a hunting game, it was not like I was impressed as well, but I was like, hey, that's interesting. That's a first-person shooter. That's something that not a lot of studios actually do work on these days. Proper, more old-style first-person shooter, it is going to be interesting. So that's why I eventually decided to join them.
Awesome.
For me, my journey started in Košice, here in this city. It's a super beautiful city. I started in Eastworks, Kawasaki Games, and then I went to Games Farm. I can see some faces. And I was there for 3.5 years, and it was super amazing experience. The team was awesome, colleagues, perfect. But I felt that I'm only concept artist, environment concept artist who was there, on set. So I wanted to explore that. I will go, still I will stay in Slovakia, but I will go working for other companies from on the world, like a West Studio, the character and stuff like that. So I wanted to also have a opportunity to travel more and to work with the bigger clients, which could help me to grow. And also the other motivation for me was to be in a team full of concept artists. That was a dream for a while. And now here I was living in Berlin for half of a year, and I realized I think Revúca is better, so I came back.
Nice, that's awesome. All right, so guys, specifically, can you please give us some more insights into what is this working abroad or working for an international company offering you that you would not get here, in Slovakia? Gabriel.
Yeah, I would say we should look at it in a different angle. Slovakia is a super small country which has around 5 million citizens. So also the market here is smaller. And if you wanna working on for GTA 5 or Horizon Zero or something like that, you need to go outside of this small country and you need to explore and go deeper and further away. So that was my goal. And Yeah, like what offered me, it was like experiences and stuff like that. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, great. Pavel,
I think it's
you as a business developer,
yeah,
like
I think it is a really similar. We share really similar paths because it's one of the key drivers is to learn and to grow your career, right, and to explore what is out there. I started as a journalist. Now I'm business developer. I don't know what I'm going to become in 5 years, right? I'm still interested in games industry. I love this games. I love this industry. It's the best one out there, and I still want to explore what is out there, what can be done, and if someone asks for help, I can actually still transfer that knowledge back to Slovakian studios or someone who is setting up shop here. So it's more or less there is always the older ones will remember there was the fairy tale of a wanderer who goes and explore the world with the how do you call the batwoshek with the rucksack on your back, and you are filled with dumplings or whatever, and they are coming back with big car with a lot of experience. So it's more or less experience what is out there, and also learning how games industry is small. I think in this group I'm not the only. With Anton we are the expats, right? Because we are not living in the country where we were born. But nowadays you can actually work virtually with absolutely every single company out there. There is a lot of opportunities that you can plug in and be virtually included in a team. So you don't have to travel that much. So a lot of the opportunities are actually coming to you. But to actually get that knowledge, get the experience, and kind of climb the ladder, you have to maybe even look outside what is happening, not just within your kind of community, within your region, but actually throw the net wider if you're looking for a job.
right. So I see that like a natural path of like expanding your network from Slovakia to Croatia, make it international, and now like go like with the big guys.
And it works backwards, right? Because you want to give back something to the community. You want to share the knowledge that you accumulated. I've been really privileged to travel around the world, and I kind of feel really privileged about this. There is not a lot of people who can visit a lot of studios that are still considered to be kind of ivory towers, and I had the opportunity to be there. So I want to actually give back to others and share it, because who knows? There might be out there talents that will be, I don't know, creating the next, I don't know, GTA or something else.
Right. Yeah. Anton, how about you? The other way around now. Is it like Nine Rock Games now offering you something special or some special experiences you made?
Well, I already did mention the experience of having people who have been there before a lot of times. It actually does matter, specifically when it comes to some intricacies of like technical processes, of how in general you structure stuff, how you approach decisions and so on. I do not always agree with it, to be honest, but I also recognize the perspective that often is based on my lack of experience and somebody's somebody having this experience. So this is something I couldn't get before, because like the way the industry was set up back in Russia was simply that lots of people who worked on PC, let's say bigger Steam games in the 90s and in the early 2000s, they simply either left development or they became parts of very small teams that weren't really open to people outside. And also, like, many of them worked on the kind of games I really wasn't interested in, so I always liked first-person shooters from my childhood. So when I was offered an opportunity to work on a game like this, and my experience before was more like adventure, strategy games, but I really wanted to start making action games. So this is something Nine Rocks offered me. But also, I mean, compared, like, Nine Rocks is a privileged position when it comes to Slovakian industry, because I mean, like, it's a company owned by Embracer. So it already is such huge privilege compared to most other companies there. So it is like the biggest offering you can actually get, just some sort of stability and funding. And in year 2023, it is something that most game developers cannot take for granted.
Yeah, but still we don't have many of those, unfortunately, yet. but it's cool, yeah. Guys, before we jump to the next topic, just kind of wrap this up. Like, so what I perceive from this is like it's kind of like a natural step in your career when you're looking for getting more depth into whatever your profession is, and it's kind of the opportunities are lacking here in Slovakia for that, right? So you wanna be working with a team of concept artists, which is like really not here. You wanna do business development like for the bigger guys, for the bigger companies, which is not possible here, and working on a great action title, which is fortunately here already. So what would you say, like, if maybe here in our audience there are people who are like looking into like maybe I should start looking around to get more expertise, to grow myself, grow my profession, start looking abroad. Like what would be your advice? Like how do you want to start that, Gabriel?
Yeah, for me it would be learn basic English, communicate with others, and build portfolio. Like in terms of art, you don't need any degree or anything like that. You just need to be good, and you need to show it by your work. And then after they will reach out to you, you just need to be nice and polite and reliable. That's it. Portfolio and basic knowledge of talking to someone else.
In terms of business development, you need to know a lot of people. And you already made that first step because you are part of a local event. So building network is really important. But in general, network gives you a lot of opportunities as well. You can always ask. Games industry is really open. There are no kind of trade secrets. Of course, there is a lot of NDAs signed between companies for titles that are not announced yet, or they are cooking them behind the scenes. But in general, everyone who works either at a local studio or abroad, they are open to talk, open to help. There is a lot of associations, a lot of communities, especially on Discord. There's also a lot of virtual events that you can basically just for a registration, you can participate and just ask. And even you can ask us. We are on social media, we are on LinkedIn. You can reach out with any question, and I think we will be open to answer any questions that are coming from you when you are looking for opportunities. But as Gabriel said, yeah, portfolio is a key.
Yeah, just come forward. And I've seen, by the way, like so many artists and people who are like, I wanna next month I'm gonna put together my portfolio. I'm gonna put it on whatever ArtStation Vians. Yeah. Sometimes it's funny, like how those small things are the major kind of obstacles into like getting somewhere and to talk with someone. I saw that many times also with like personally and as well with our company, where you need to really get out there. So you have to show something first of all, and then you eventually build your network. And everybody's here building the networks, which is great. What Pavel mentioned, right? So network equals opportunity. And everybody's looking for new developers of any kind, right?
Even if you look back, I mean, I see in the audience those that are veterans in the games industry, those that have been around for more than a decade. Even if you look back, like how you got the job, it was basically you just raised the hand and you just asked the question. That was my kind of entrance to the games industry. And there is no kind of a secret way or like 10-step kind of a guide that if you follow these steps that you will get the job. It's just like, if you just need to gather up the strength and just like ask the question, that's it.
Yeah, and I guess, Anton, your story is pretty similar to that.
Well, my story is, again, I had a connection, and that connection allowed me to travel, and even this was problematic. So again, it's like privilege on top of privilege, essentially, because look, if I didn't have this connection, no way I would be easily able to travel like to Slovakia, any other EU country, or let's say USA. It would also be a problem, even a bigger one. I would also say, like, for example, even when I was hired, it happened last May. It took me 5 months to actually get to Slovakia because of the documents, formalities and stuff. For many people, it takes from 6 months to up for a year and a half. So I would say if you don't have a company who is going to support you throughout this whole way, you just may not reach this goal. So yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful and lucky, I guess, in certain regard here. And I should always recognize it and don't because often people would see, oh, this person probably did something incredible and this is why they get it. But sometimes it's just pure luck. Unfortunately, world can be a very unfair place in this regard.
All right. Thank you. So, next topic I would like to kind of touch on is this kind of small and subtle or big differences that are there in place where you start working in a completely different environment, which sometimes it's enough to start working for a different company, but even if you switch the country and you're like in a different culture, it feels different, right? So there's like all these things that you take for granted, but then you figure out like it's not really granted everywhere. So whereas my experience is like being, for instance, like in the US and this kind of long-lasting friendly friendships and relationships, they're like not really given in place there, or maybe work is pretty separated from like private life and social life. So what are your kind of feelings now working in a different environment? Anton, what do you say? Like, is it really close, like being here or in Russia?
To be honest, I think that the gaming industry is very globalist, and by it I mean that these days the difference is really negligible sometimes, because you can found a company like, let's say, in Slovakia. It can be in South America. It can be in Southeastern Asia. But the people in the company will share very similar values because they were raised on the same kind of music, films, video games, and so on. And this experience doesn't create a division between them. I ultimately believe that people are more divided by class or, let's say, privilege than their country of origin. So when it comes to the gaming industry, it is even a bigger thing here. Essentially, if you look at modern video game studios, they are sometimes like work in very similar environments. You see the same kind of desks, the same kind of everything basically. So like you do notice some difference, but you may never know. Maybe it is specific to this studio, and other studios in the same, not only country, but even city can approach things differently. So I generally don't like to generalize, and this is like, because I often would get some pointers like, let's say, I'm going to be a bit not politically correct here, but like my initial experience when I started to learn Slovak was from my teacher, who originally is from Ukraine, but she migrated here 8 years ago, and she's been living here for 8 years. So one of the first pointers she told me, like, look, Slovaks, they don't really start working until 12. So I was like, okay, so should I expect it? And she's like, yes. So you will find like that the whole morning is spent like chatting and stuff, and then they don't. But when you actually start working, you see that some people do, some don't. So just don't make generalizations. But that's her experience again. Maybe she experienced things differently. So yeah, and like also, probably the biggest change to me is that in general in Central Europe, people are more used to starting work very early. So I'm like a later bird. So for me, starting to work even at 9 a.m. is sometimes problematic. And like if you have a studio where it is kind of strict, where you're supposed to come in, it can be problematic. Because like I used to work sometimes starting like 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and it wouldn't be a problem to me. But in Central Europe, in general, the way of life is not 24-hour cycle. Like in Bratislava, it kind of is getting to this place, but whenever you come to even, let's say, Košice, it is not like this already, and also in many Central European countries as well. So that's a huge difference that I've noticed, but that's practically it. All other differences are negligible these days, I think.
Yeah, right. Interesting. And Pavel, how about you? Like, what are those? And actually, I really love that I asked you about differences, and you started with what we have in common, because this is like great. Great thought. Because this is, I think, like what we lack in our mentality, in Slovakia as well. Like sometimes we tend to kind of like point out like these small differences instead of like talking about like, guys, come on, like we are one scene, one community here, right? So that's like really great. Pavel, what are the differences that you observed, like between Slovakia, between Croatia, between?
I would say time zone. Like,
thank you.
It makes difference. I mean, my colleagues are in UK, right? So there is 1 hour difference. But I'm really bad with calendars. So if you're going to travel to the east or to the west to like foreign lands, make sure that you have like double calendar or something like that, because I always kind of screw my calendar. So even 1 hour difference for me is a massive issue. What I noticed is, especially when I'm in discussion with my friends from either US or from Japan, is that there is a lot of we are not thinking about things in big picture, right? We are thinking about like locally. We're not thinking regionally or globally. That was one thing that I'm still struggling a bit. And there is also another popular trope about Slovaks, that whenever there is a question asked, we always answer no, it can't be done. But it translates to wider Central and Eastern Europe. But yeah, with the right mindset, you can actually solve any issue. We are really hardworking people. We like to work, which is good. We are creative as well. But I think the kind of looking and having that kind of global mindset is something that is holding us back sometimes.
Agree. Yeah. Gabriel.
Yeah, for me, the best comparison would be like when I was here in Games Farm, and then I went to Berlin to work in Wind Character. I would say most important thing is for me love, and in terms of like having friends, having someone who cares about you, and just being loved. And there I went alone on myself, and it was like, yeah, like after some time I knew a few people and I had few friends, but here there was like I had my family, my like closest friends, and that was like strikingly hitting me to my heart. And this is also like reason why I came back, and I said like, okay, I will not move if I will not bring my community with myself there, because I'm not here to just work and produce things, but I'm here for like living life. Life balance is super important, probably for everybody. And the most like biggest difference was like here we are looking at a task, as you said, that it isn't really sometimes possible, but like when you are working for a bigger company, they have bigger eyes and they think like they can do it. And also like management in a German company was so nice. Like everything was smooth, paperwork and everything like that. Also like communication, they are so nice. Like maybe it was just the company, like Character is one of the best in Europe or like even the world. In terms of like outsourcing for IPs like Horizon Zero or like Last of Us and stuff like that. So they have like big clients, the best clients, like they know what they want to do. And so they also like picking their artists carefully, and they are treating them like it's the family. And that was like nice element, but it wasn't that strong as spending time with my friends like, after work and stuff like that. So for me it was basically just friends. I want to stay not here like, okay, I want to travel and go on exotic places and explore the world, but I'm thinking that I will move to Košice back and I will start a community here or a school. It would be super nice to help our region to grow and be mindful of like how many talents we have. It's not like I don't want to just run away and saying like, okay, Slovakia is a shitty place to live. I think we have a big potential to be here and to just work and create good work. Yeah.
Yay! Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. So I actually stole my next question, sort of answered it. Like I wanted to ask, like what it would take you guys to kind of like come back to Slovakia, Russia, or your home country, like in terms of, do you consider that, or is it a matter of an opportunity to get you back, like as you said?
Yeah, if I can continue, sorry. Yeah, like for me it was love, and also like seeing potential in our talents. Like just when I went to Šufke, to like our high school, I could see like in every class there is someone potential who could be like one of the best, but he needs to have education, which we are really lacking in this region. And I would like to have a chance to give them the chance to learn and to push them like, okay, you can do it, not be like, oh, just I'm sketching and nobody will look at that. So,
yeah, more opportunities, better education.
Exactly.
Got that.
Like like still like working for clients from abroad is bigger because they have more money basically, and the cost of living here is for a lot of people working like from outside is so affordable that they want to stay here. And also we have mountains, we have lakes, we have beautiful nature, and so if you are like maybe cycling or just skiing, you have everything what you need. We don't have a sea, unfortunately, but yeah, you can find anything.
Right. Pavel, would you return?
We have sea in Croatia, by the way, so that's the Slovak Sea, as everyone over here knows. My case is really complicated. I always lived between two countries, between Czech Republic and Slovakia, and now between Croatia and Slovakia. In my case, I don't want to return, but there is a reason to it. I want to start a family there. So I would return in a heartbeat because I have also family here. My parents still live here. My brother is here. My friends are here that I would love to visit more often. And it's great to be here, but last time I was here was last year, so I would love to visit more frequently, but unfortunately I can't due to other duties in my life in Croatia. So in my case, what would need to happen, that would have to be something massively big that would actually destroy my private life, that I would actually consider to returning back. But when it comes to games industry, there are no borders when it comes to countries, right? So I'm reachable anywhere. So you can ping me anytime if you have any questions and I will answer them. So in this case, the knowledge transfer, there's not going to be cut, right? Because we are connected via socials, we are connected via conference, we are connected via Discord and any other apps. So there is still connection, but yeah, my life is in Croatia, unfortunately.
Yeah, right. And you're doing, like out of Croatia, you're doing business development for Poland and UK, so.
Yeah, it would be really hard, right? I mean, I can live anywhere on this planet and actually work. I have colleagues in Italy, I have colleagues in Colorado, and actually he's part of my team, business team, and Tim drives, I think, 45 minutes to the nearest grocery store to buy groceries for a week, and he lives in the mountains.
Wow. Anton, what do you say to that? Apart from the political stuff.
Yeah. So let's like make a thought experiment and just put everything aside. Just a very cynical point of view. I'm only discussing like the economic situation and the actual career opportunities. So in Russia, I used to run a company. So let's say theoretically I would want to return. So I wouldn't gain anything, actually nothing, absolutely nothing, because there is again no bigger PC console scene. Like there are some studios that still do work, but like currently again legally it is so problematic because like the thing is it is not even for Russian studios. I believe it was an issue for Belarusian, let's say, studios and probably Ukrainian studios as well, that sometimes they would have a real problem, for example, just getting any money from Steam. They would have to, I don't know, like invent some kind of incredible schemes in order for the local tax authorities to process it also. I mean, here in Slovakia, just a single thing that the country is in EU opens up so many opportunities, and like in Croatia, I think it is probably also been really, really noticeable since Croatia joined the EU. And this is what it comes to really. Even if I stay here, let's say for a long time, and maybe sometimes, I don't know, theoretically things get better in Russia, I don't expect them to get to a point where, let's say, going back and starting a business there, like in game development, would be a better opportunity than here as a foreigner.
Right, got it. Difficult. Okay, guys. So I think we are slowly but surely running out of time. There'll be like gazillion of other topics to cover, which will be like super important, super interesting as well. But let's turn into Q&A. So we got one question up there. Someone called Anonymous has a question. You are all experienced developers with a strong background. Do you have any goals you would like to accomplish in the future? Or are you happy with where you are?
The short answer is no. I still want to grow my skills. I still want to learn new things. I do not have any like an end goal that I'm aspiring to. I still want to learn a lot, and there is still a lot to learn for me in the business development field. Maybe down the line, open up a studio and possibly here in Slovakia, but that's really, really far future.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. It leaked. Now, basically, I think we have a recording of this, right?
There is nothing to leak, so yeah, it's just there, right?
So you made almost like a commitment right now. Okay. Gabriel?
For me, it would be yes and yes. Like currently, I am happy because I am healthy and I can organize this event and I can see all the familiar faces, and also I can just do what I want. I'm living in a free country, but still, like I have a goals. I want to start drink and draw something like in Berlin, like in a few minutes I will be just setting that here. But I have a physical place where people can come, can draw figure drawings, and there will be workshops, and we can just share knowledge with each other, and then maybe transforming that to the school. Like we already did like a workshop with Jama Jurabaev, and next one is with someone who I shouldn't say yet, but it will be huge, and we are continuing with that, and we want to bring like huge people to the small cities like Košice or like Zakopane, and just explore with the local people what they can offer. And in terms of art, I think it's endless how we can improve. Like still, just like I'm just doing environments, not at all like the characters or the vehicles or the props, but still in environments. Now I'm currently learning how to stylize. In terms of like social skills, I want to talk better. I want to have strong relationships, and it then goes on and on and on. So I think it's an endless cycle of just being like happy where you are, but at the same time, like you want to get better. And the balance between that, it's like hard to manage, because I can get a super big ego and I can be like, oh, I have everything, and then I will like just be broke for, I don't know, my reasons, and then I want to do other things. So I think I would like to be happy where I am, and also wanted to strive.
Yeah, awesome. So Anton, how about you? Do you have any like end goals?
Well, I'm never happy, and it annoys my colleagues a lot, I believe. So, I mean, it always depends on my opportunities. If I have one, I may move somewhere or I will create one here. I don't know, to be honest, because currently I'm not used to planning my life like more than 6 or 7 months in the future. Because like sometimes you don't know, like for a long time I didn't even know if I would be like to legally stay here for a long time. So now that I know it, I can, that's good, and now I can start planning, but still you learn not to plan too far ahead. So it will depend on opportunities. Currently, I'm pretty satisfied with working at the company. We will see how it goes in a few years. You never know.
All right. Good. Maybe, do we have some time and any questions still from the audience, guys? Anybody? Anything? Like, in the meantime, I have a tough one, like, at the end. So what I would like to ask you guys is, like, think about like the one thing that comes to your mind that you would like to kind of like, from your experience abroad, you would like to bring, like, this is the one thing that I want to bring into, the Slovakia, or like all the company that I work with, that like this is the secret sauce.
Sorry if I can start. I would say like a main mindset of having knowledge. Like, we as a country, I don't know why we are comfortable with that we are dumb in a lot of ways. And yeah, like, I think like in every age we want to learn, we should want to learn. And a lot of people here are just comfortable with like, not like, it's not nice to be comfortable, but they don't want to invest in learning and teaching. Like, our teachers, was there like average salary? It's funny, yeah.
Pavel?
I think it's the same, more or less. Like, never stop learning new stuff, break stuff, and learning from your mistake. I think that's something that even after so many years, for me, it's kind of hard to adopt. But I'm still kind of adjusting to it, to accept the fail and accept the mistake and then just learn from it and just continue.
Yeah, like celebrate the mistakes and the fails.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't have to be a celebration. There needs to be some learning behind that, right? So, like, thinking about it really hard and then just talk to the team or talk to someone who is experienced and then just move on and build new stuff.
Yeah, right. I mean, from my experience, even so many games killed that actually were never published, and you still have to, find the courage and the energy to, stand up and get it rolling again and reinvent yourselves. Like, by the way, in Supercell in Finland, they make like proper, like a party killing a game, like to really get people like, yeah, it's a positive thing. We learned a lot. We built a lot of stuff that is reused to other games and other, teams, whatever. Anton, what would be your thing?
Well, my career in the gaming industry actually started with several cancelled projects, so I had several years of experience, but I couldn't basically show anything in my portfolio because everything was cancelled. And to be honest, I met some people who had like 6-7 years of experience, and they still didn't have a commercially released title because they're like I believe most projects like in AA, AAA, or like bigger indie spaces are actually always cancelled. Like, that's the unfortunate reality. Even if you go working for a big company, you never know if your game is actually going to be released. So it is something that I think can be taken as an opportunity that first you can actually try to release for yourself something. And this would be the approach I would take now, given this experience, that first go on, I don't know, like on itch.io, just release something that looks like a finished product. And then you can go to the bigger studios, because for me as a game designer, it's a bit different from, let's say, artists. Artists are expected to have a portfolio. You cannot submit your CV, but with game designers, it's a bit like, you should have one, but is it your games? Is it your documentation? Is it your personal project? So it can vary also on the style of the game. that you work on and so on. So now that I know that actually still, even as a game designer, I do need a portfolio. It is helpful, but it is a bit different from the portfolio that, let's say, programmers have when they just share their GitHub, or artists when they share their ArtStation. So this is something I couldn't learn when those failures that I was privileged to get and experience, but I still get them. So now my advice would be just start, do something, memorize it in the in some form, and then you can just experience many failures, but at least you will always have this backup in terms of this one project that you did finish.
Yeah, awesome. Any questions? Doesn't have to be this topic. You can ask anything you want.
Can I also add a small comment? Because if one generalization can be made is that Slovaks can be so self-deprecating at times, about the country and the opportunities. Look, guys, I know that you're comparing yourselves to Germans, to French, even to Czechs, right? And think in this regard, yeah, we lack opportunities and so on. But then again, you will find lots of places where opportunities are actually much worse than in Slovakia. So for me, it doesn't feel that bad, to be honest. I know it's relative and what you do is actually good. You should compare yourself to the best. But sometimes self-deprecation can get in the way.
Yeah, we are not particularly good at asking questions from the audience. That's why we actually like the Slido we have. That's like a Slovak startup that actually exited and was bought by who? Cisco. Yes, I think so, yeah. Because we can't ask questions. We can type questions. That's good. But that's better than nothing, right?
We'll be here tomorrow, so if
exactly.
If there are questions that pop into your mind, I don't know, on the walk home or when you go to a party, feel free to approach us with any question.
If you want to jumpstart your career abroad, or if you look into advice how to tackle something, cultural differences, and get prepared for that. So, thank you very much, Anton. Thank you, Pavel. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you for this very nice day and games days, and enjoy the weekend.